like that. This is a song by Styx called Come Sail Away, and this is for my good friend Matt in Nashville, Tennessee. He's helped me tremendously in copywriting this whiteboard technique that I've been using, and much thanks to him. And this is a song for him. He requested this, so let's get to work here. We start with a what's called a left hand Alberti bass, which was used extensively in the classical period, the time of Mozart and Haydn and all that, and that's what he's using here. So let's start with a C chord on the left hand, and we have a middle C on the pinky on your thumb, so we're up pretty far to the right on the keyboard, more than usual. So we have the pinky on C, and we're going to have the middle finger on an E, and then we'll have the thumb on a G. Okay, so that makes a C chord. And we're going to do this pattern. Ba, 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 bum. So just recognize that all the notes here in the first measure are part of that C chord. So C, G, E, G, E, G, C, G. Now that's not so hard. The left hand's not, and playing the right hand by itself is not so hard. What's going to be difficult is putting them together. Okay, so you're really going to have to work on that. And you can see I put a vertical line every time the right and left hand play together, so you'll really have to pay attention to that. On the right hand I have an E up here. Here's middle C, so here's the E that I want. And then I'm going to go way up high to this D up here, and then down to a C, and then back down to the E we started with. Now, when you line it up, play it slowly with the pedal down, the right pedal on your piano. Here we go. Together, and left by itself, and then together. And you'll see it goes together, left, together, left, together, left. So the ratio is 2 to 1. Every time, every 2 notes, the right hand is just going to play 1 time. So let me do this first box slowly. Okay, and you just have to work that out. Let's go on to the second box here. We have a D minor chord in the left hand, so we're moving everything to the right. 1 key for the right hand, or for the left hand. So we have middle D, and an A, or F above that, with an A above that. So we have 3 notes again, D, F, A, and you just do the pattern. The pattern is the same pattern over here. Ba, 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 ba. So I'm not going to go through that. Right hand has an F now up here. Here's middle C, so we're still up here pretty high. Then reach up pretty high for a D, that same D we did over here, down to a C, then down to an F. Alright, then you're just going to have to go slow and line them up. Together, left, together, left, together, left, together, left. Okay? And I would stay on the first measure until you can do it before you go on to any other, because you'll just get frustrated. Alright, third box here. Same sort of thing. We move to the right a little more to an E minor chord. The left hand's on an E, and a G, and a B. And you can just do the pattern. Ba, 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 ba. So it's an E, G, B chord, and the right hand is going to be on a G way up here. And then reach up for that high D again, back down to C, back down to G. Alright, and then you just go slow and line them up. Here we go. Together, left, together, left, together, left, together, left. Alright? Now, moving right here, we're going to go back down to the left a little bit, kind of like this measure, but the end of it's going to be different, okay? So the left hand is going to have the D, F, A chord that we had over here. The pattern's the same. Ba, 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 ba. Right hand's going to have an F here. Reach up for the high D, then a C. Now these are fast. These will be 16th notes. Ba, 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 bum. So here the ratio is going to change. We're going to have 2 in the right hand to every 1 in the left. So the right hand's going pretty fast there. Okay, so you're going to have C, B, A, B, bum, 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 right at the end of that measure. And you line it up. That D on the left hand is with that C, and then the B's by itself, and then together, and then just the B on the right hand. So that last box is bum, 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 da, 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 dum. See how those are fast? We come up here, have a right hand on a ending on that high C. It really goes ba, 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 bum. So this C right here kind of goes with this part. Alright, so that's a high C. Left hand's on a back on a C chord here, C, E, G, ba, 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 ba. Here the pattern's a little bit different than down here. And I got this from an old video, so I'm just doing what the guy does in the old video. C, G, E, G, C, 4 notes in a row there. On the right hand we have the high C. Now this C is a different C. Okay, so this one's a little higher, you come down to this C, and then play that C again. Okay, so let's do that whole box now. Okay, just line them up. Now here we have what's called a trill. With a trill, you're going to take a B and a C. Here's a B, here's a C. And you're going to start with a B and you're going to just do it as fast as you can. Okay, so that's a trill. And trills, again, were used a lot in the classical period. And all you're doing is taking the B and the C and doing it as fast as you can. Okay, it's kind of hard to get used to it, especially when you're trying to do the left hand with it. And I forgot to line these up here. Let's do that. Okay, so you have the left hand G chord here, G, B, D, and you're doing the pattern. Ba, 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 ba. And then the right hand's going to trill until you get to this B. So the trill is going to last all the way to that B. Okay, so you just get in there and dig in and do it as fast as you can until it's time to play that B again. Okay, and ending the trill is what's kind of hard, but right here it's together, 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 together. B, B, A, B for right hand. So this box is... Alright, here's the singing starts. So here we're going to have just 2 to 1 again, left to right. The left hand's on the C chord again, C, G, E, G, 2 times. Ba, 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 ba. And the right's doing a C here, above middle C, then a high C, and then coming down to a G, and then coming down to an E. Alright? That's what you do there. So everything's a C, E, G in that box. So let's go to this measure here. We're just going to move down a little bit on the right hand and have a B right there, and then a high B after that, then down to a G, and then down to an E. Now on the left hand, you just to the left a little bit, and you have a B below middle C, and then a G above that, or an E, I'm sorry, B, E, and then a G that makes an E minor chord, B, E, G, and you do the pattern, ba, 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 ba. And the ratio is 2 to 1, 2 notes on the left to 1 on the right. So together, left, together, left. Okay, so starting here with the singing starts. I'm sailing that way, set an open course for the virgin sea. And it's sort of the same thing after that. Part 2 and 3, maybe part 4 for this one, will show up on the website eventually at webpianoteacher.com. And if you want to contact me, easypianolessons@yahoo.com is the way to do that. I hope you enjoy it.